Imagine a man who had the world at his feet, a voice that could stop time, a smile that melted hearts, a name that defined a generation. Now picture that same man alone in his mansion, collapsing to the floor, his heart silent forever. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, was only 42 when he took his last breath. One moment he was a global icon, untouchable, unstoppable. The next, he was gone. What stole his life? It wasn't the rumors of excess or the weight of fame. It was something far more sinister, something millions are doing right now, maybe even you, without a clue. It's a death sentence waiting to strike. Stay with me for the next 12 minutes, because what you're about to hear could be the difference between life and death. Elvis Presley wasn't just a star. He was a legend carved into the soul of America. From the gritty streets of Memphis to the glittering stages of Las Vegas, his music brought people to their knees. Fans screamed his name, women fainted at his concerts, and his records sold millions. He was the boy with nothing who became the king of everything: fame, fortune, adoration. But beneath the spotlight, behind that magnetic charm, a shadow was growing. A deadly secret Elvis didn't even know he carried. A secret that's hiding in plain sight for so many of us today. You might think you're safe, that you're too young, too healthy, too busy to worry. But Elvis thought that too, and he paid the ultimate price. It started so quietly, it was easy to miss. In the early 1970s, Elvis began to feel different. A sharp pain would grip his chest after a long performance, gone in a moment. A stubborn cough that wouldn't quit, dismissed as a cold. He'd feel winded climbing stairs, his heart racing for no reason. It's just the schedule, he'd tell himself, popping a pill to push through, to keep shining for his fans. Does that sound familiar? That moment when you feel a twinge, a flutter, a wave of exhaustion, and you brush it off. It's just stress, you say. I'll deal with it later. For Elvis, those were the first whispers of a killer. Whispers he ignored, whispers that could be screaming in your body right now, begging you to listen before it's too late. By the mid-1970s, the king was slipping away. The man who once danced across stages with electric energy was slowing down. His face glistened with sweat during shows, not from passion, but from struggle. His breathing grew labored, his voice sometimes cracked. He'd cancel concerts, unheard of for a man who lived to perform. Friends saw the change. They begged him to see a doctor, to rest, to care for himself. "I'm fine," Elvis would snap, his voice firm but his eyes tired. "It's just the pressure of the road." He turned to more pills, more quick fixes, anything to keep the legend alive. But his body was fighting a losing battle. His heart was weakening, overworked, crying out for help. And no one, not his doctors, not his loved ones, not even Elvis himself, heard the warning in time. Then came the night that broke the world's heart. August 16th, 1977. In the stillness of his Graceland mansion, Elvis Presley collapsed on his bathroom floor. His fiancée found him unresponsive, his face pale, his body cold. Paramedics raced in, their sirens piercing the Memphis night, but it was over. His heart had stopped. The king was gone. Outside Graceland, fans gathered, weeping, clutching photos, lighting candles in disbelief. How could someone so larger than life be mortal? The headlines called it a tragedy, but here's the gut-wrenching truth. It didn't have to end this way. If Elvis had known what was killing him, if someone had caught it sooner, he might still have sung, still have smiled, still have lived. Instead, at just 42, he left behind a daughter, a legacy, and a warning you can't afford to ignore. So what was it? What killed Elvis Presley? It wasn't the drugs the tabloids screamed about. It wasn't the fame or the lifestyle. It was heart disease, driven by a hidden condition called cardiomyopathy. His heart muscle was failing, worn out by years of poor diet, relentless stress, and a body pushed beyond its limits. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in America, claiming a life every 33 seconds. Over 600,000 people die from it each year. People who, like Elvis, thought they had time. People who ignored the signs. People who could be you or someone you love if you don't act now. The scariest part? You could be walking around with the same warning signs Elvis had and not even know it. Your heart is like the engine of a car. Feed it junk, fried foods, sugary drinks, constant stress, and it clogs, it slows, it breaks. Elvis's diet was a disaster. Greasy burgers, sugary sodas, fried peanut butter and banana sandwiches. Pair that with the crushing weight of fame, the sleepless nights, the endless tours, and his heart never stood a chance. Cardiomyopathy made it worse, quietly weakening his heart muscle until it couldn't keep up. The symptoms were there: chest pain, shortness of breath, swelling in his legs, exhaustion that wouldn't quit. But they were easy to dismiss, easy to blame on a busy life. Today, doctors know better. A simple EKG, a stress test, a blood panel could have spotted the problem. But Elvis didn't get those tests. And right now, millions of Americans aren't getting them either, thinking they're fine, until the day they're not. Here's what you need to know to protect yourself, because knowledge is power. Heart disease feeds on risk factors: high cholesterol, smoking, obesity, diabetes, even genetics. Elvis had several: obesity, stress, a family history of heart trouble. Do you, that extra 20 pounds you've been carrying, that cigarette you light up to relax, that parent who had a heart attack, those aren't just details. They're warning lights flashing red. Symptoms like chest pain, a racing heart, or feeling out of breath doing simple tasks aren't normal. They're your body screaming for help. Don't do what Elvis did. Don't wait. A blood test can check your cholesterol and inflammation levels. An EKG can see how your heart's holding up. These tests are quick, affordable, and could mean the difference between seeing your kids grow up or leaving them too soon. But it's not just about tests. You can fight back with simple, powerful changes starting today. Swap out the fast food for heart-healthy choices. Salmon, rich in omega-3s, can lower your risk of heart attack. Spinach and kale, packed with vitamins, keep your arteries clear. A handful of almonds instead of fries can cut your cholesterol. Move your body. 30 minutes of walking a day, even around your neighborhood, strengthens your heart and burns stress. Speaking of stress, it's a silent killer, spiking your blood pressure and straining your heart. Try 5 minutes of deep breathing or meditation each morning. It's free and it works. And don't skip that doctor's visit. A quick check of your blood pressure or heart rhythm can catch trouble early. These are the steps Elvis didn't take, the choices that could have saved him. They're the choices that can save you. Let's pause for a moment. Elvis was only 42. He had a daughter, Lisa Marie, who was just 9 years old when she lost her dad. He had songs unwritten, stages unlit, years he never got to live. His death wasn't just a loss for the world. It was a wake-up call for every single one of us. If you're feeling tired all the time, if you get winded too easily, if you feel that occasional ache in your chest, don't shrug it off. Don't tell yourself you'll deal with it tomorrow. Heart disease doesn't wait for a convenient time. It strikes when you're not looking, when you think you're safe. You're not just risking your life, you're risking the people who need you, the dreams you're meant to chase, the future you deserve. Don't let it end like it did for Elvis. You have the power to rewrite your story. If this hit you hard, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone you love. It could be the warning that saves their life. Hit that like button, subscribe, and join us every week for truths that can change your future. Elvis Presley's death was a tragedy, but it's also a lesson. You're not helpless. You can choose to act, to fight, to live, but you have to choose now. Don't wait until it's too late.